After spending 3 years in university, I racked up a massive bill in living costs and course-related fees. Now, course-related fees I can't do anything about, but living costs, I spent living costs on food and activities with my friends. So when I got to the end of my degree and I saw the bill that came through, I was shocked at how poorly I'd spent my money over the last 3 years, given that I was an accounting and finance student. So when I got my first job, I made a promise to myself to manage my finances better. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks I learned along the way of managing my money better, and I hope that these are going to be helpful and useful for you. G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Kishan and I'm a 25-year-old chartered accountant living in New Zealand. I'm sure you guys are already wondering what this massive light bulb looking thing is on my finger. So this morning I got up and I started cutting some watermelons and I just missed one of those and sliced right into my finger. I kind of just got the top of it, a little bit of the nail. So I had to go to the doctors and just get this wrapped up, and they told me to keep it in a sling. So I've just taken that off for now for YouTube. So yeah. I'm not very good at cutting things. Alright, so jumping right into it. There's many ways of actually managing your money, but to do it effectively, that's a whole other thing. So I'll start off with the number one tip of managing your money, and this is what I use all the time, and that's creating a budget and sticking to it. So creating a budget, I'd say, is relatively a straightforward step. I mean, there's a lot of apps and templates online that you guys can use and follow. Monitoring your actual spending against a budget, and that too on a consistent basis, is the hard bit. A good routine to get into would be to set yourself a monthly reminder to review your spending against your budget. Now, this is something that I personally do. I download all my transactions from the online bank accounts and I review that against my budget. And I say, okay, maybe I've overspent on this, underspent on this, and I play around with it. And once I've done this on a quarterly basis, I actually update my budget to sort of reflect the realistic spending that I have and what I'd like to actually achieve. By doing this analysis of comparing your actual spending to your budget, it gives you a visual idea of where your money is actually going. And this is really helpful when you're trying to understand your spending habits and spending patterns. My next tip is to compartmentalize your money goals into different accounts. Think of this as having different buckets for your different money goals that you may have. You know, maybe you have goals for your vacations or your marriage fund or your house fund or your rainy day funds. And a great way of doing this is to keep separate accounts to allocate and track your money goals. So for myself, I have my check account, which is my day-to-day spending account. I have a savings account. And aside from this, I have a travel account, a provisions account, and a shopping account. Now, the reason why I have a separate account for travels, provisions, and shopping is to build up a fund or a money goal in there that if and when I need this money, I can withdraw from there and actually not take it from my day-to-day account or my savings account. Now, setting up these different bank accounts is only the starting. You actually have to fill these funds up to ever utilize them. The best way of doing this, I find, is to set up an automatic transfer the day after you get paid of a certain amount into each one of these accounts. Now, by doing this, not only are you filling up your funds in those different accounts, you're also telling your brain that you've only got a limited amount to spend on your day-to-day spending. This strict discipline ensures that you only spend within the confines of what's remaining in your day-to-day account, knowing that you have to leave some to put into your savings account as well. And so when you need to spend on travel, shopping, or pull money out for emergency funds, you have these dedicated accounts that you can pull funds out of. This means that your savings doesn't get drawn down upon, or you don't need to go into your day-to-day account. Now, even if you don't have these different money goal accounts or whatever it is, I highly recommend setting up at least a rainy day fund or a provision fund account separately where you're building up some funds. Now, I can't tell you how many times that this provisions account's actually come in and saved me when my laptop got broken or my car needed fixing or my glasses needed fixing. These provision accounts have always saved me and helped me from drawing upon my savings accounts. Invest your money. Now, if you're not satisfied with the returns the bank is providing on your savings account, then you may as well invest your money somewhere else. You could invest in the share market. You could invest in bonds. You can invest in term deposits. There's a lot of different investment opportunities out there based on your risk appetite. Now look, there's a lot of resources out there which tells you about how you can invest your money or where you can invest your money. And I'll leave some links to that down below. But something I find which is very useful is to invest my money into something known as ETF or exchange traded funds. An ETF is a fund that can be traded on an exchange like a stock. which means they can be bought and sold throughout the trading day. ETFs give you a way to buy and sell a basket of securities without having to buy all the components individually, and they often have lower fees than other types of funds. Depending on the type, ETFs have varying levels of risk. The reason why I invest in ETFs is because the returns from the investment are usually greater than that of a bank's. The second reason is because it's a passive investment for me. Now what this means is once I've invested my money, I can take my hands off the wheel. The reason being, there are fund managers that are dedicated to looking after this ETF, meaning that they're doing the work day in, day out to ensure that they're bringing home the best returns they can for all their investors. And that then means that I don't have to constantly monitor my investment. Remember, ETFs are only one investment option. There are multiple other ways of investing your money, but make sure you do some research before investing any of your money. I will leave some links down below if you guys are keen to learn a little bit more about investing. And there you have it, team. I hope that those tips are going to help you to manage your finances better. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're enjoying this content, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.